Welcome to Plymouth Ice Center for girls hockey action from the Lake Conference, the second to last week of the regular season. And tonight it's the Hopkins Park Royals taking on the Wayzata Trojans. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, a couple teams with pretty similar records. Hopkins Park not playing a full lake schedule, so I think it's not going out on a limb to say that Wayzata's played a stronger schedule, but I think it'll be interesting to see how these two teams match up. They both kind of made some good strides this year and looking to build some momentum into the playoffs.
Well, you look at Hopkins St. Louis Park. I mean, being where they're at with a winning record right now, that's got to boost their confidence. And confidence can take you a long way here. They said, maybe we got a chance. We got a chance at some of these games, and they've done a good job with the teams that they've played. Now, how are they going to handle the better teams? That's going to be the kick here. And right now, you're looking at it power-wise and schedule-wise, Wayzata's had the stronger schedule and probably is a better team. But that's why you play the games.
Yeah, and right now it's looking like this could be the 3 and 4 seed for Section 6AA. I think right now Wayzata probably would be 3 and Hopkins 4, but still a little bit to be determined by this last stretch of games here for both of them as well. So definitely an important one and to build momentum as well heading into the postseason. Let's talk key players to watch for in tonight's game. And for Hopkins Park, boy, it's hard to not be impressed with a freshman who has these kind of numbers like Hazel Schenkelberg.
Well, 24 goals. Yeah, I think for a freshman, that's actually outstanding. She's an outstanding player, really moves well. She's, not really that big, but she's getting it done. And she's very fast, got a quick shot. That's been the big thing with her.
Centering their second line tonight. And for Wayzata, they've been really bitten by the injury bug this year, but one of those players who's coming through with some good numbers for them, Julia Ostapek.
Well, here you go with a gal that has really stepped forward and is really their goal scorer. She's got a nose for the net. Is by far their greatest goal scorer. The nearest person next to her, Ava Moldy's, only got 8. So, they're really dependent on her to, put the biscuit in the basket here, and she's really done a good job for them this year with 17 goals.
We mentioned Wayzata's kind of taken a step forward. Well, they didn't really do that in their last game with Minnetonka, getting beat 9-0. So they want to get back on track. They've played even the good teams a lot tougher this year, it feels like, with Edina and Benilde, teams like that. We saw them against Benilde here earlier in the season. They want to erase that memory of that Minnetonka game a little bit too and just come out and kind of fine-tune for postseason play.
Well, there's always the next game. You can't dwell on the last one or the last few. It's this game now that's the important one. And you got to take every one, 3 periods at a time. And it's another night to play hockey. So get your legs loosened up. Let's go play.
All right, should be a good one here. Hopkins Park and Wayzata girls hockey action coming up next here on CCX Sports.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
Winding down the home stretch of the regular season here is late January, and still some important games remaining, though, for these teams. And Wayzata, after this one's got a good Champlin Park Coon Rapids team on Saturday over at the Ice Forum in Champlin. So that would be an interesting matchup as well. And they got another Minnetonka game yet to go.
Yep.
So there's, even though it is getting toward the end, there's still some games to jam in here in the last week plus for both of these teams. One more game for Wayzata than Hopkins has remaining, but Hopkins actually will be playing Buffalo 2 games in a row. There's Helen Sauter, their junior goalie, who is a 6-4 record, allowing a little over 3 goals per game. I'd like to say percentage a little bit higher maybe, but has done a pretty solid job overall for them. And Malin Eriksson at the other end for Wayzata, a little over 90% save, a record at .500 and 2.76 for the goals against. De La Salle, also part of the Hopkins St. Louis Park Co-op this year, and they do have, a coach said, 5 players overall between varsity and JV, so it has made a difference for them a little bit too.
Well, a lot of times if you can add extra bodies, boy, that helps, because if you're down to 2 lines and stuff, that's hard to play.
Yeah, and it just gives more kids, that opportunity too. That I think it's fair to say De La Salle on their own would not have enough to have a team. So Wayzata looking to break it up ice, and Morgan Kennedy there met by Amelia Harmstrom. Royals get it out. Schenkelberg banking it off the wall and into the Wayzata zone. Josie Lindahl back to gather for the Trojans. And the pass got away, intercepted there by Steckline. It comes toward the net, but Lindahl sending it back out high, but picked up again by Schwarzentruber, and her shot is knocked down. Sydney Schwarzentruber centering that first line, and they tried to go long to Ostapek. Got a piece of it, so no icing, but couldn't quite reach that pass cleanly. Moldy trying to keep it in, Streeter as well, but they get it out. No icing here as Trojans back to pick it up with Kelly Nagel. Still without the Britt sisters, Wayzata are, and that's been a pretty much almost season-long thing. They might get one back, but not the other, it sounds like, but getting pretty late now in the year. Kara Knutson circling the net. Puts it out high to Streeter. That one blocked, but they still are dangerous alongside the net. That hits the outside of the net. Then trying for a wraparound was Ostapek.
She had a good opportunity there. She could have bounced it off the pads and gotten it in too, but nice head-up awareness and took a shot at it.
Thrown down the rink, but it's going to come right in on net, and Malin Erickson stopping that one, so no icing obviously there against Hopkins Park. Knutson will dump it in deep and head off on a change. Good, smart play. She recognized what was going on there and just put a little soft touch on that one to get it in deep. Trying to bring it to the front, but that one jabbed away. Trojans keep possession, though. Noble sending it in behind the net. Steckline there after it for Hopkins Park, but there's a turnover forced and a quick shot on net. Decent opportunity from the slot there by Vanessa Swenson, and Helen Sauter was there and ready to make the save for the Royals.
You see a good opportunity there, set up top on the triangle there. Just got it on her stick and just ripped it. Good setup, good play.
Yeah, good positioning to be ready to receive that pass. And, that one didn't go in, but those are the type of chances you want to generate. Lakothe had it knocked away. Trojans trying to keep it in, but couldn't quite do so. Noble will have to hustle after it, being pursued there by Lucy Johnson. And that pass failing to connect at center, but they were over the red line, so no icing there. Pass gets away, Lindahl flicking it ahead and then relayed in by Morgan Kennedy.
Well, there's that odd hop off the boards that's down there. They're going to have to be aware of that, Hopkins is, because Wayzata knows about it, and they can sneak somebody in front when it bounces like that and get an easy score.
Kennedy digging it free will come to the point with Lindahl. Gonna send it back down low. Steckline there intercepting it, but she's quickly double teamed. It's one thing, Wayzata is a team that can be fairly physical, and of course, being used to those Lake opponents that it sounds like Coach Ryan St. Martin was telling me for Hopkins that they're going to play more of a full Lake schedule next year. Maybe not entirely, but more than they have this year. And it's just kind of a thing where their program was at. And I think Buffalo, same thing, not playing Edina twice, Minnetonka twice, all that. Kind of feeling like maybe it wouldn't be a great thing for either team.
Well, the best thing about this for Hopkins in this park is the numbers are coming back up in youth. They were down for quite a while and diminishing, and that's why they had to combine the programs. But that's good news, I think, overall for girls hockey.
Yeah, and I think it's I like the flexibility. Oh, Ostapek up with the steal. Ooh, and a nice stop by Sauter. I like the flexibility that they've allowed some teams that. Everybody's just being realistic about it. We're not at that level. Maybe let's not play them twice a year. And believe me, Minnetonka and Edina, teams like that, they don't want 12-0 games either.
No.
They want to schedule some non-conference opponents, and we got a penalty coming up here, and Wayzata's going to go to the power play.
Well, we got a tripping call down here in the corner. That stick just got a little carried away. She got beat. We see a good opportunity here. Good steal. Now Speck comes in real nice, looks for the short side, and we'll see the trip here. Or the hook, shall I say.
Yeah, they called it a hook on, going to go against Katie Geyser. So first penalty is against Hopkins Park. Oh, out front. Just deflected wide there by Rhiannon Lawrence. And then dumped out. Noble will go back to get it.
Well, this is one area where the Trojans really want to improve at. They're only at 17.9% on the power play. They want to get that up above 20%, to give it some effectiveness here and make it a fearsome thing.
Lucy Johnson on the penalty kill, meeting Noble and knocked it away. Yeah, Coach Podiak for Wayzata was saying we're kind of at the point where we know who we are. We just want to see effort tonight. We want to fine tune things to be ready for the playoffs, but we're not going to make any real big changes this late. Lawrence dropping that pass back. Ostapek looking out front. It lays loose in the circle, and then the Royals missed a chance to clear as Claire Freed picks it back up. Getting it down low to Lawrence. Lawrence looking out front, now flings that one over the net. Ostapek high in the slot, missed the net there. Steckline first to it, but then was doubled. Freed picking it up, over to Lindahl. Lindahl back down low. A couple times they've kind of missed an opportunity to send the puck to the weak side or reverse it. They've been kind of looking tunnel vision a little bit too much, it feels like.
Well, they're looking for Ostapek when she was out there and just trying to load her up all the time. And, on the power play, you got the advantage. Take advantage of that. Just don't try and load up your top player.
Deflected wide by Knutson, and the Royals finally get it clear. They needed a change pretty badly, and they'll get it. Head now to Kennedy. Has to stop, and they'll finish changing, so she got it back to Lindahl. Penalty time is now over, so Hopkins Park has killed it off. Some decent pressure by Wayzata, but nothing terribly difficult save-wise. That'll be offside. Ooh, and Kennedy and Kothe got a little bit of a jab in, and Kennedy came back with a harder one. And no penalties out of that, though.
They'll let it go this time. Next time they won't. They just let them cool off a little bit.
Knocked away by Schenkelberg. Carried in, but knocked away then from Kothe. Here's Schenkelberg. Her shot, though, blocked. Follow-up try by Hess was blocked. Trying to get it out front. Too much traffic there, though. Ostapek intercepting. Oh, and got it ahead. It's just off the stick. Maddie Lyon, that's going to be icing. That one wasn't too far from being a real interesting potential breakaway.
It was about a foot on the wrong side of the red line there.
There is the Hopkins Park coach, Ryan St. Martin. Said they like what they see from their team, building and getting some good results. They've been winning some games of late. And again, like we said, kind of tailored the schedule to get a little bit lighter, give them, some opportunities for some wins, and they've followed through and been able to get that record up there. Another shot block by Wayzata. Boy, they've been good at that so far.
Yes, they have. Yeah, you need some confidence builders here, too. And okay, you say the schedule isn't much, but you know what? With the way the program's been, they needed some wins and stuff, and it helps recruiting of the kids, too, especially in the youth program. They want to come play for you. Yeah,
and I was looking at their schedule, and it isn't that weak. I mean, it's, like I said, you're not playing the double round against some of those top lake teams. That's true. That's fair. But they've played some decent teams along the way, too. So there's an interception by Morgan Kennedy. Kennedy coming back to Streeter at the point. Had a little trouble with it, so she swings it over to Noble, and then Royals able to come up with the turnover. Jabbed away.
Well, what you got to look at with Hopkins St. Louis Park, too, is they started out 1 win, 4 losses, and a tie, and they've really battled back. And to have a winning record right now, that's a testament to them sticking with it.
Yeah, and it can get to be a long season. You get tired, you get injuries, you get illness and all of that, but you want players that are getting better as the season goes, and it sounds like both of these coaches felt like that's happening for their teams. Addie Renner coming up with it for Wayzata. Here's her shot, and Sauter making a glove save on that with exactly 8 to go here in the first period. It's been definitely more of a Wayzata period so far, but I wouldn't say dominating this one. They just a total of 3 shots for them and 1 for Hopkins Park.
Well, Hopkins Park has done a nice job of blocking shots, too. You said a number of times how we've seen that they've blocked it out.
Here's a chance and a goal. Ava Moldy alone in front, able to tuck that rebound in as nobody able to get to her stick to tie her up, and she had actually a couple of opportunities there and able to put it away, and Wayzata will grab a 1-0 lead. Moldy getting her 9th goal of the season. You see the face-off win led to it, and then Moldy, goalie out front, knowing that there's one player who's pretty much untended there, as Hess jumped over to try and help out in the original shot.
Well, they got 3 consecutive shots off there, 2 by Moldy, and the second one went in, which was the 3rd shot. They needed to clear her out. Defense has got to be a little bit better about not letting those white jerseys in front and stand there all day. Oh. That was a nice move coming back. Tried to get back into the slot and just lost the handle on it. Defense finally got a stick on the puck.
Ostapek and Knutson get assists on that goal for Moldy, so a 1-0 Wayzata lead. Here's Johnson bringing it out front, but jabbed away. We saw that in the Benilde game, that Wayzata definitely not hesitating to keep a tight box in front of their goal. We want you to work from the outside. As you look at Brad Podiak, the Trojans head coach, and they had a ways to go to get back to this level, and obviously enormous high school, tons of success in a lot of sports, and I know it wasn't all that fun to have to kind of work your way back up for Wayzata. They weren't used to that in girls hockey or any sport for that matter, but they've done an admirable job of it. I think the program in pretty good footing right now, and they've gotten better, and probably will be the number 3 seed in Section 6AA, I would guess. That certainly appears that way. Edina and Benilde in some order will be ahead of them, no doubt. Rowan Jansen carrying it up the left side, goes to the net, and a backhander. I don't know if that one quite got all the way in to Erickson, but good move.
Yeah, went off a patch, you got it down, but
back out to center and flipped back in by Claire Freed. Counter attack for Hopkins, but quickly intercepted there at center by Ava Hansen.
Well, the one thing I was going to say is the one thing that can help Wayzata quite a bit is their special teams have been really awful. I mean, 17% on their power play and 76% on the penalty kill. And you're not going to go very far, especially against the top teams in your section. If that's the way it stays, they got to get better there.
Pass coming out front, Steckline, a nice read to intercept that one, but I guess that was tipped at center, so no icing here. Chased down by Louisa Beach. Down she goes, though. Wayzata breaking it out and come right side with it, Vanessa Swenson. They bounce one in on net and then head off on a change. Have not hesitated to use their third line regularly. Moldy playing it toward the corner, but knocked down there and then thrown back out. That will be icing this time against Hopkins Park, and we'll head back into the Royal Zone with 5:21 to go here in this opening period. Wayzata a 1-0 lead on a goal by Ava Moldy. So look at that opportunity going to the net, and nice save there by Erickson.
Just kept her position, slid across nice and slow, didn't go too fast, kept that pad out there. Nice save.
Now the defenseman kind of got beat, but I do like the fact that she didn't panic and commit a penalty there because, she trusted her goalie to make that stop. Yeah, this puck played by a high stick, it looked like, out front, or maybe a hand pass even, but was whistled down before it was actually covered, and the official signaling that, no, I didn't think it was covered. Making another ruling there.
Well, Ericsson's done real well. She's 9-0, 9 wins and 0 losses, and done a great job. 905 save percentage, which could be better. Sorry, 9-9. I wrote that down wrong, folks. My fault.
Played back, working it from down low. They'll come to the top. Ooh, there's a tip that went just wide as Morgan Kennedy got a piece of that one. Royals breaking it out. Kothe carrying it through neutral. They got a couple girls that can skate very well, Kothe being one of them. A couple times they've kind of caught Wayzata a little bit off guard with their speed. That one thrown off the side of the net. Fair to say Wayzata's been the more physical of the teams, though. They have bumped the Royals around a little bit here and there.
Well, I think you made a good point, though. I don't think they were quite prepared for Hopkins' speed. And the kids can skate for sure.
Battle for it along the wall and trying to dig it out there, but nice reversal. Dump back to center. Intercepted there, though, by Nagel. Wayzata's done a nice job of pinching off that breakout, and that time Hopkins realized it and like, well, we're not going to force it up the wall. Here's a chance from the circle. Oh, and sailed just high and over the top. As Renner got a good look at the net, but missed high.
Boy, Sauter really kind of made a mistake there. She didn't use her blocker. She tried to bring her glove across her body.
Ooh, that is going to be a penalty.
Yes, it is.
Noble is going to go, and Wayzata has to hope it's only for 2 minutes.
I think they heard that check all the way down to Hopkins.
And officials are meeting here to, discuss whether there's anything beyond a 2 here. No, looks like it is going to be 2 for checking.
We'll get a good look at it here. Now, she tried to come in on the side. She didn't hit her directly from the back, so that was a good point, especially when she got her leg up there to get in front. So she was using her head, though.
Not to get on Noble there, but I don't know how you would think you would get away with that, though. It was pretty, pretty obvious out front. Johnson had it knocked loose. Wayzata being aggressive here on the PK. Long pass ahead, but knocked loose. Good hustle by Moldy. But her clearing attempt was knocked down, and so the Royals will get a chance to get their power play set up. Schenkelberg had to get away. Trojans get it out. And that'll be offside as Ostapek had visions of a shorthanded goal there.
It just goes to show in the power play, you got to be clean to those passes. And even they got the man advantage. You've got to put them right on the stick. And, boy, it almost cost them there, especially with Ostapek on the ice. Boy, she's always looking to score.
Trojans win the draw. Rhiannon Lawrence dumping it to the corner. That pass not on target, intercepted, and that one went into the Hopkins bench. There's Streeter, tried to bang it off the wall and in, and instead it hit the players on the bench. Under 3 minutes to go in the first period. A 1-0 Wayzata lead, but a power play here for Hopkins Park, their first of the game. Dump down the rink. Steckline back to gather it for the Royals. Kothe getting a little head of steam and offside, and that was one where she needs to be willing to use her left winger there. There was nobody over there on the other side.
Probably not a good idea to take that shot after the whistle either.
Draw one that time by Schwarzentruber. Kothe tipping it in deep. The Wayzata zone. Moldy back to it. Couldn't get it by Hess. Hess looking for a wraparound there. Didn't quite make it all the way to the other side of the net. 25 to go in the power play here for Hopkins Park, and they can't get it out. Hess stopping that one. Plays it down low. That one off the side of the net as Kothe looking to attack again. Hits the side of the net one more time. And then it's trickled out to center. Wayzata going to hurry up and get a change as Hess picks it up. And back out, and the penalty time is over. Sauter knocking it away, and then they get a shot. She might have wanted to rethink that one a little bit, as either get it harder into the corner or cover it, as Lawrence turned and fired.
She saw her mistake right away, thank God, because then she got herself ready because she knew that shot was coming. Nice job there. Something to make a mistake, but, cover up for it.
Wayzata trying to get a quick face-off win and attack, like that's what led to their first goal, or the only goal of the game.
Well, I like the way the Trojans' defense is really, they're not backing out quickly. They're making Hopkins play for every single inch of ice.
Back across to Nagel, again looking for the tip. Oh, and Freed, that rebound was just blocked. Geyser with nice reach. Under a minute to play in this first period after killing that penalty. Wayzata looking good on this shift. Knocked down and then played wide of the net. That was kind of an interesting one, as not played to the corner, but shot almost like a shot wide there by Hopkins. Flipped over, and here's a partial break chance. Oh, and Erickson just getting a piece of that one. Good opportunity there for Jansen. Now here is a breakaway the other direction, and a goal. Morgan Kennedy, the puck kind of got away from her, but then she was first to it again and pops it over the goaltender. Not terribly often you see basically back-to-back breakaways there, but Wayzata takes advantage of that one as Morgan Kennedy will make it 2-0.
Just a good hustle play there by Kennedy. She never gave up on it, kept her legs moving, and it paid off for her. She got control of it and took it in. See her moving just really fast. She had to beat the goalie. Nice move back there, although the goalie did get a piece of it. She kind of fumbled it there on the stick handling. Right there.
Yeah, it kind of popped away, and then, yeah, that was good hand-eye coordination and possibly a little bit of luck worked in as the way that puck was bouncing, but either way, you'll take it. Here's a chance from the circle by Johnson, and Erickson fights that off. Turnaround try then is blocked. Trojans, one last rush up ice here. Going to have a penalty coming up against Hopkins. Jan, the save. And we're going to have, with 1 second left, probably a hold or an interference. It's going to be holding, as that rush was proving to be dangerous enough that they didn't want to give up that chance.
This is a good penalty. This really was a good penalty because she was beat. And her partner was a little bit out of position, too. She's a little high up. You always want to, if you're the offside D, you want to hang back just a little bit behind your partner in case they get by you.
Steckline will go for holding. 1 second in this period. Probably not enough time to do much, fair to say, and the period does come to an end. But Wayzata will have basically a full power play to begin period number 2. Our score after 1 is Wayzata 2 and Hopkins Park 0. We'll have first period highlights and then our second period of hockey coming up on CCX Sports.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
Welcome back here to Plymouth Ice Center. A 2-0 Wayzata lead after 1 period here. They got 1 goal about midway through and then 1 very late to stretch that lead to 2 as we check out highlights from the opening period of play. And Hopkins Park didn't have as many chances, but they definitely did have a couple of really good ones. We'll see an opportunity here. A nice steal by Julia Ostapek, and then she walks in. Really nice save there by Sauter. And then off a faceoff, here's their first goal. First shot saved, but Moldy was left unattended out front, and she, on her second try, pumped it in. Nice save here by Erickson on a good rush up ice by Jansen. And Erickson, again, didn't face a lot of shots, but had to be sharp on a couple for sure. Good opportunity here, but this one sailing high from Renner, just missing the crossbar. Then we had an odd one, kind of back-to-back breakaways. Erickson getting a piece of one, and then it's chased down here by Kennedy. Watch this bouncing puck. It was almost like a little magician's trick there in front of the net, and stayed with it and puts it away. That one came with under 30 seconds to go in the period. The shots, 2-1 advantage, or 10-5 overall for Wayzata. Better of the chances, and we've got 1:59 to go in a power play for Wayzata, so very late penalty taken by Hopkins Park on a 2-on-1 rush will give Wayzata basically a full power play coming into period number 2. We will come back with our second period of hockey here. Hope you're enjoying this one so far from Plymouth Ice Center. Wayzata 2 and Hopkins Park nothing on CCX.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
2-0 Wayzata lead. Ava Moldy, the freshman, getting the first goal of the night for Wayzata on a rebound, and they got one later from Morgan Kennedy, who had that follow the bouncing puck breakaway and able to tuck it away. Even she kind of smiled and laughed a little bit when she realized, just the way the puck was bouncing around, it was a pretty impossible one for Sauter, the goalie, and almost impossible for her to control too, but she was able to stick with it and put it away, and that kind of changed the complexion a little bit, I think. You're still at 1-0 and all of a sudden it's 2-0. I think for both teams it sort of feels like a bigger, obviously 1-goal difference, but I think it mentally might mean more than that even.
Well, that had to sting a little bit, I'll tell you, and now you come out and you got to kill a penalty too, and so you're climbing a mountain here in the first 2 minutes of this period. So if they can gather some confidence out of that and kill the penalty here, and then work themselves back, one shot can get them within 1 goal. So they got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, fair to say this is a pretty big kill and a pretty big power play for Wayzata too. I mean, if they get out of this still at 2-0, they've obviously got a lot of time to try and catch up. But if it goes to 3, might be difficult.
They haven't had many quality chances, Hopkins hasn't, so we'll see.
No, although for as few of shots as they've had, but when we saw that highlight package, you're like, Erickson actually did have to make a couple of pretty tough saves though, right?
Yep.
Here's Wayzata getting set up in the offensive zone here on this power play. Back up top to Lindahl, and she'll work it around for Kennedy. Get a little bunched up, shot on, Sauter the save, and the Royals able to clear it to center anyway.
The big factor is, though, they didn't get a change at all, so you got the same penalty killers out there.
Yeah, they got the long path to the bench, obviously, in the middle period. That probably influenced that. They would have liked to get that puck out, at least to the other blue line. Here's Lindahl. That pass deflected. Here's a chance for Jansen. Short-handed breakaway. Jansen walking in, and Erickson. Nice stop. Stayed squared up, and that one hit her right in the Wayzata logo on her shirt.
Yeah, nice job there. That she gave nothing. They didn't even give her any opening whatsoever.
Hansen. Yeah, just calmly stayed with it. Here's Noble back across into the circle, but that one into the skates, jabbed away. 35 to go in the power play. Wayzata giving up a clean breakaway shorthanded, but they got the big stop they needed from Malin Erickson.
Well, I think the Wayzata D deserves to buy at least a 6-pack of pop for their goalie.
Shot on there by Moldy. Here's a rebound. Oh, and it trickles just wide. Lawrence had a net to work with there, but missed. And briefly, goal stick lost by Sauter. She's got it back now. Wayzata buzzing here. Under 10 to go on the power play, though. Ostapek works it across. Noble walking in, shooting through traffic. Rebound is in.
Beautiful.
Ostapek following up and pumps it home. And the Trojans go up 3-0 just as that penalty was expiring.
Well, that hurts. You know, Hopkins Park almost had that thing killed off. And I just say Ostapek got one more shift on that power play, and that's all she needed here. You see they moved the puck really well here. Got a good shot, and the rebound was there. She just could not get across to make that save.
It is not a power play goal, even strength, but I mean, basically they weren't all back into position yet.
Yeah.
So good give and go there, and Ostapek did a great job just making a straight line for the net after passing that one off. Noble and Moldy will get the assists on that goal at 2:01 of the second. 3-0 Trojans. Trying to break this one open a little bit. So they didn't quite get it to 3 on the power play like I was talking about, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was almost a power play goal there as Hopkins' fifth skater wasn't really back into things yet. Now it's their turn to try and get something going. Johnson's shot deflected up over the netting, or into the netting, and get a face-off coming up here. Well, an eventful power play. First it was Erickson having to make a great save on the shorthanded breakaway. We talked a little bit about it at the time. I liked the way she just stayed really calm and didn't overcommit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times that's as much of it as anything, is you don't fall for fakes on those kind of breakaway chances or shootout chances if you're in a tournament situation. It's just kind of staying squared up and keeping very limited space to shoot.
Letting the skater make the first move and showing you what she's thinking about doing.
Bad turnover there at the line, but then knocked away from Schwartzentruber, but they can't get it out. Knocked loose. Trojans misfire on the pass here, and long race for it. Kennedy, oh, it is going to be icing. There's still pretty slick ice after the Zamboni did its work between periods, and that one just got enough to get there, and Kennedy was going to be first to it, but obviously that's not the ruling, the way it works in high school hockey. Schenkelberg and Moldy, a couple good young players facing off, and Moldy wins it.
Yeah, I've been surprised. Schenkelberg has done a very nice job on faceoffs. That's one of the rare ones she's lost.
Noble had it knocked away. Ooh, and Jansen was nearly looking at another breakaway chance. She was the one who was stopped on that shorthanded breakaway. This one would have been a little different just from the blue line in, but bounces off Lindahl's stick and knocked ahead back into the Wayzata zone by Steckline, but then Lindahl coming up with it. Moldy intercepting this one for the Trojans. With some speed up the left side here, circles the net, now looking out toward Noble at the point. Knocked away from her. Royals get it out. Here's Schenkelberg chasing it down. Shoots and scores! Whoa, snuck that one over Erickson's shoulder from a very tough angle. And there's an indication of why somebody has 24 goals and now 25, as Schenkelberg hit the very tiny little available area and scores it.
That's, Jay, what we call a snipe. She snipered that up. Look at that shot, right up into the upper corner there, right by the head.
Just kind of next to the ear there as it went over her shoulder. There was not a lot of room, but just a little bit, and Schenkelberg gets her 25th of the year.
Pretty heads-up play for a freshman.
Schwartzentruber shooting. That one was blocked by Lavender. So Hopkins Park getting on the board for the first time as they get some new life with Schenkelberg's great shot under the crossbar. Pass coming out front, knocked away. Johnson couldn't get her stick free, and the Trojans dump it down. This is going to be icing against Wayzata. So Hopkins Park not hanging their head after falling behind 3-0. They've come back getting a goal and then following it up with a pretty decent shift as well.
Well, I think they got a little adrenaline going now in their legs, and they're moving it, moving a lot better. They're skating hard into the boards and the corners. They could win more of those one-on-one battles there too. You know, there's a good face-off win right there.
Ooh, and that shot bouncing through traffic. Yeah, you can just see a little more jump in there. It feels like they've started to match Wayzata's overall pace of play a little bit more than they were earlier on. Oh, there was one deflected almost in for an own goal. But Eriksson stayed with it and made the save as that stick blade killed most of the momentum of that, but that's your worst fear as a defenseman, to deflect that one past your goaltender. Carried in deep by Lawrence here for Wayzata, trying to put it out front but intercepted. Banked out, and here comes Schenkelberg again. She's all alone for the moment, makes a great move though. Schenkelberg firing, and Eriksson a save. And we're seeing some of that freshman skill from Schenkelberg.
You know, she was trying for the same spot too, Jay. She was trying to get up in that short corner, and she almost got there. She's got some nice moves for a freshman boy. She's got her head up, looks good, nice and balanced on her skates.
Schwarzentruber had it knocked away. Noble getting it to Moldy, and here they come. Moldy playing it ahead. It's a 3-on-0, and Noble's shot, though, going wide. Ooh, that one turned dangerous in a hurry there. Really good vision by both players to get that one to happen. Hopkins fortunate to get away with no goal coming on that opportunity for Wayzata. And that pass gets through Noble. Stopped here by Eriksson. 3-1 score, Wayzata leading. Boy, this has been an entertaining start to the second period, that's for sure. Pass off a skate. Lindahl will have to regroup and play it here for Wayzata. Noble calling for it. It goes away, though. Johnson had it briefly, but back comes Hansen for Wayzata. 2-on-2 on the rush here. Hansen gets a pretty good shot. Ooh, and then the rebound off the defenseman and almost went in. Sauter reaching back and covers that one up. Another look. Watch this move by Schenkelberg. Turns the defenseman Nagel inside out, and then that time went low with it. And a pad save. And then look at this. A brief 3-on-0. And Sauter may have gotten a piece of that one, it looked like. And then the follow-up here, almost kicked in by the defenseman. We had one at the other end where a defenseman almost deflected it in, and this one almost kicked in.
It's the worst moment for a DJ. Oh, my God. You don't even want to look at your goalie when you go back in the locker room.
Schenkelberg up with it, a 2-on-1 here. Schenkelberg firing and a blocker save. Tried to go back. A penalty coming against Wayzata's Lavender, though, as she took Schenkelberg down. And this will be a cross-check against Lavender. Another good opportunity there. And again, she didn't get it up quite as high that time, a blocker save. But a penalty taken after the fact.
Well, she's got the goalie set up now. If she can get a few more runs like that, she's looking at that short side again. But she's going to try and go to that upper far corner next time. But hit the boards pretty good there. But way to get up and tough it off there, young lady. Okay, Hopkins got themselves a nice power play now. Good opportunity maybe.
Trojans get the draw and able to clear it down the rink. Lavender, I think you could maybe say a little bit of an unnecessary one because the shot had already been saved really by the time she committed that penalty. It's hard to not say too, though, that sometimes just the effect of how things go is if Schenkelberg didn't fall so hard, may or may not be called right there, I think. And that's just hockey. I mean, the result sometimes looks worse than what it would have been if the player didn't fall into the boards.
A lot of times, too, that momentum by the D is hard to stop, too.
Yep. Not saying it wasn't a penalty or anything like that.
Oh, no.
Here's Noble carrying it for the Trojans. Noble's shot, though, blocked. Nice work defensively, and here we go for the Royals. Schwartzendruber getting it across to Kothe. Trying to track it down again, and does so.
Well, there's a little gas on the Hopkins engine right now.
Kothe flings it at the net, missing wide. Schwartzendruber running it down. Shooting, it goes wide. Kothe back up with it. She will shoot. Blocker save there. And Noble trying to get it out. Now Moldy. I thought she had been tripped up there, but oh, yep, it is called. There is a trip.
They did call it. Guy on this side that we couldn't see.
Right.
Just
right
reaches
here,
out.
and yep, just right into the skate. Schwartzendruber will go for a trip. So 25 seconds of 4-on-4, and then Wayzata will go to a power play, barring any further penalties, of course. Well, good news, Schenkelberg is back out there after she fell into the board. So.
Oh, she's a hockey player. She'll shake it off.
Yeah, it looked kind of painful. You never can tell sometimes on those falls, just how you end up hitting or what if you're in an awkward position or all that. So that's great to see she's back out there.
Well, a lot of times, too, the boards make a difference. There's some rinks that the boards are really tight, and some of them, they're kind of loose.
Battle for it in behind the Hopkins net as Morgan Kennedy doing work for Wayzata. Wayzata's at full strength, so they are on a power play right now. Clearing attempt is off Nagel's glove and down the rink. Noble back to pick it up here for Wayzata. They lead 3-1 and now have a power play. Been a pretty wide open second period. They get their power play, try to set it up. Schenkelberg comes over and takes it though. Oops, and then that one sailing out of play briefly and went back on the ice, but it hit somebody on the bench apparently there, so we'll get a face-off in the Hopkins zone. 6:46 to go in the second. Minute 2 in the power play. There's a look at Hazel Schenkelberg, who has the goal for Hopkins and had a couple other great chances and then fell hard into the boards, but back out taking that next shift. Played down low here. Nice job getting to it by Fried. Now Ostapek. Back for Fried. It's deflected up over the net. Way across. Ostapek alone in the circle. Shoots and scores. I don't know if it was deflected or not, but they'll get the goal on the power play either way. I think it is going to be Ostapek's goal there. That one must have went all the way through on its own. And so they make Hopkins pay for the penalty. Ostapek getting her second of the period.
This is just a great shot. You just can't let Ostapek get in that close and get a good look at it, although, wow, that hit the pipe. That could have gone out, but it skimmed right in on the inside of the post.
Yeah, and it looked like Sauter might have gotten the tip of her glove on it first, too, and that made it go glance off the post and in. And it's a goal. Boy, they really got sucked over to one side, and nice vision to find Ostapek in that circle.
Ooh. I love the way that the Hopkins Park is just coming right back, too. They're not giving up. They got a good opportunity there.
Moldy will get her third assist to go along with the goal, so she's been in on all 4 of the goals. Ostapek second of the night, 19th of the year power play goal. And Schenkelberg nearly intercepting that one. Runner trying to get out with it, but knocked away. Johnson trying to go to the net. Played in deep into the Hopkins zone here. 5:25 to go in the second. 4-1 now in favor of Wayzata. They've outscored the Royals 2-1 here in the second. Kick loose. And that breakout pass intercepted. briefly and then taken back by Hopkins. Knocked loose at the line. Good hustle, but couldn't quite come up with that loose puck. Noble sending it ahead. Here's Kennedy up that right wing, and that shot sailing to the corner. Hopkins got caught up ice a little bit that time. Kennedy possessing, slides it across to Noble. Out high again for Kennedy, but that shot blocked. And Lavender playing it back down into the circle. Steckline intercepting for Hopkins Park. Steckline carrying it around the D, going to the net. Nice poke check, though, by Eriksson, the goalie. Puck still loose, though. Then that shot attempt blocked by Ostapek. She's going to carry it out herself here, 2-on-2 on the rush. Offside. Just zigzagged a little bit at the line there, and that one probably on her more than Knutson. You know, you want that off wing to hold up, but it looked like she was going to go straight over the line and didn't. See that little hesitation there.
Yeah, you want to get it across the line before you make your move so you don't bring your wingers offside.
Trojans winning the draw here. Moldy will come back to pick it up. Sends that one ahead. Ostapek, I think, she was offside. She got a little overeager receiving that pass. Her trail skate across the line there. So face off at center ice. Wayzata's kind of taking control of this one a little bit again, but still we're seeing some chances for Hopkins Park.
I like their energy, Jay. They're really working hard, and they're trying to put some pressure on. And
Lawrence on the move. Yeah, they certainly haven't folded up to 10. If anything, I think they've played better in the second.
Yeah.
But Wayzata's kind of been able to match it, too.
Hand pass. Well, that's good. I mean, good resilience there. You can see just kind of a muck up there in the blue line there, and a little hand pass if she reaches to push the puck down there. But a little grit right now doesn't hurt anything, by gosh.
Trojans get it. Here's a chance out front. Oh, and a nice pad save there on the opportunity by Renner. Hopkins looking to counter. Defenseman falls. Jansen will walk in. Oh, and then she lost it. Looking up for her teammate, trying to decide. And now it comes back through her, though. Here's a shot from the circle, and that one sails over the net. Follow-up try. Passed out front. They don't get it out. And Geyser's shot blocked. Oh, my. This one, we're turning into chances left and right. Hopkins basically had a 2-on-0 and never got a shot away after the defenseman fell at the blue line. Tip in out front. Eriksson making a save on that one. Nice deflection.
And she lost it, too, after she made that initial save. If they could have had a winger on that weak side corner there, they could have had a goal. I like this. They're fighting back. They're doing a nice job creating some opportunities.
Geyser trying to grab that one and go, and now sent the other way past Hansen, who's going to head to the bench for a change quick here. Jansen putting it out for Schenkelberg in the middle of the ice, but Lindahl is there first.
Yeah, Schenkelberg didn't have any legs left. She was just trying to get off the ice.
2:10 to go here in the second end-to-end period. Wayzata leading 4-1. Schwarzentruber carrying it here. And Noble back the other way to lead the rush for Wayzata. Noble, the defenseman, stops, trying to get it across, and just knocked away there. Good recovery. Sophie Hashka getting a shift there. Made a good play for Hopkins. They can't get it out, though. That one's off a skate. Ooh, it comes right in front. Luckily for Hopkins, Schwarzentruber was the only one there. Moldy blocking that clearing attempt. Moldy's been everywhere tonight, trying to bring it out front, but now Johnson takes it for HP. She went down, but I think on her own there. Now gets back up, though, and plays it. Johnson Trying to shield that puck and wait for a little help. Played down to the corner. Lindahl trying to come up with it. Johnson throws it out front. And we're going to have a penalty coming up here, a high stick. I believe it's going to be Noble who will go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So a power play coming up for Hopkins Park. Watch 15 in white. Oh, yeah, got the stick around the neck of Johnson. Definitely the right call. You're responsible for, you're keeping your stick down.
Absolutely.
And at that point, it's, whether she meant to hit her in the neck or not is kind of irrelevant. You have to be in control of it. So power play late here for Hopkins Park. Cross for a one-timer. Erickson stopping that Schenkelberg shot. We'll get a face-off again in the Wayzata zone. So now it's kind of the reverse of what we saw at the end of the first period, where Hopkins took a penalty very late. Royals able to win the draw. Schenkelberg receives that pass, has room to shoot. Erickson a big save. And then they're just able to clear it. Race is on here. Schenkelberg being pursued. Play that one to the wall. I've noticed a few times Wayzata a little overconfident in not just clearing the puck out when they have a chance. There's a save, as Johnson shoots. They've tried to skate the puck out while they're killing penalties, and that could come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see, Hopkins Park start shooting a little more on the stick side of the Wayzata goalie here. They're really giving her glove a real workout here, and she'll try to reach across her body to get the glove on it, and that's a weak spot, Jay. That's a weak spot.
There's what you want to see. As Streeter just wasted no time. They won the draw. She cleared it. Not to say you don't look for shorthanded chances when they're there. I don't mean to say that, but able to get this one out as well. Cass Voigt misses everyone with that pass. It was going to be icing, but it doesn't matter. The period coming to an end. So a very entertaining and eventful second period. Our score after 2, Wayzata 4, Hopkins Park 1. We'll have second period highlights and then what should be a good third period coming up on CCI.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back to Plymouth Ice Center, a recently redone and beautiful wall honoring alumni from Wayzata boys and girls hockey here at Plymouth Ice Center. And great thing to, walking by on the concourse, stop, take a look, reminisce, and some great pictures of players that have gone on to do some good things at the college level and in some cases even beyond. So beautiful thing, and congrats on the nice update to the wall here at Wayzata's home rink at Plymouth Ice Center. 4-1 Trojans leading Hopkins Park girls hockey here after 2 periods as we take a look at highlights from the second. And boy, it was an entertaining one with a lot happening. The first was pretty good too, but the second had a lot of chances. Starting with Rowan Jansen blocking that pass, goes in alone here, but a nice stop by Erickson. And then watch Ostapek passes and then goes to the net and is right in the right spot for the rebound just after a penalty had ended against Hopkins Park. That one made it 3-0, but then Schenkelberg, watch her snipe this one from right at the bottom of the circle up over the shoulder of Erickson. Hansen on the rush here, gets a good attempt, and then the defenseman nearly kicks that one past, but Sauter able to cover it for Hopkins Park. And then a trip right there by Schwartzentruber, and it leads to this power play goal for Ostapek as that went off the pipe and in. Her second of the game, second of the period, and team high 19th. So a 4-1 Wayzata lead, but you see Hopkins had the edge in shots in the second. And even though, they've fallen behind by 3 goals, I felt like they played a lot closer and more competitive in the second period probably than the first. So certainly some opportunity for them to get back in it. We will take a break and then come back with period number 3. We'll see if Wayzata can put it away or if Hopkins Park can close the gap here. 4-1 Trojans.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
Welcome back here as we get set for period number 3. There's the goal scorer in the middle, the freshman Schenkelberg for Hopkins Park, and had a couple other pretty good chances as well. Julia Ostapek had a pair of goals in the second period. 4-1. Wayzata's Noble is in the penalty box, so Hopkins Park on a power play here for just under a minute to begin this third period.
Well, it's interesting to note, too, that the third period is the best period for the Hopkins Park team, whereas it is not a very good period for Wayzata. They tend to give up a lot of goals in the third period, so this could get interesting quick.
Moldy up with it and able to bank it down the rink. Schenkelberg carrying it up ice here. Gets into the zone, shooting, and Erickson making the stop there for the Trojans. 16 to go on the power play for Hopkins Park.
This face-off's important here with that amount of time left on the power play.
That player, Noble, in the box is going, please kill it off, please kill it off. You never want to get out early because the other team scored. Ostapek up with it here, shorthanded 2-on-1. Ostapek firing. Ooh, and a glove save there by Sauter. That was a dangerous attempt. Thought she saw some room there on the glove side and went up high. Hopkins got caught out of position. It was a 2-on-1. The only good news for them was that the forwards were spread so far apart, it wasn't really a great opportunity to use the other wing.
Well, the D did a good job and went to the winger rather than let the goalie handle the shooter. And she didn't move to the middle, so that helped the goalie out.
Wayzata back to full strength as Noble out of the box. Royals able to keep it in for the moment anyway. And they'll get another opportunity as it's thrown in deep. Streeter back to get it. Got by Hansen. And Geyser gathering it for Hopkins Park, banking it to center. Schwartzendruber chopping it loose, but then recovered here by the Trojan Swenson. Got a pass away, but Geyser intercepted, but then her pass was knocked down. Hess knocks that away for Hopkins Park. Trojans were changing, so not a lot of bodies up there to get to that puck. Dumped in deep into the Wayzata zone here. Lavender back to play for the Trojans. Tipped out to center. Schenkelberg. Floating that pass right side, but Noble intercepting, and a nice breakout here. They'll come up the middle. Freed lugging it. Backhand try, saved, and then both players go down. Sauter hanging on to force a face-off as Freed went to the net, and Steckline did her best to impede her without committing a penalty here, and apparently did so.
Well, good save there, but even better covering up that rebound. That stick was coming in, and it could have jammed it right between her legs and gone in, so good cover up by the goalie.
Kennedy banking it off the wall. Good forecheck. Kennedy intercepting that one and looking out front. And we'll come out to Noble. Right back for Kennedy. And a give and go back to Noble, trying to go right up the middle. And they just recovered in time to get a stick and knock that one out. Good idea, but just too much traffic. Cross ice pass there, and then it bounces away. Wayzata will have to regroup and go again here. Lawrence. And that one tipped on in. Ava Schneider was out with that line briefly for Wayzata. Still 4-1 Trojans. We go under 14 to go now here in this third period. Cothey carrying it for Hopkins Park. Here's Hess shooting. That one goes wide.
Oops.
That one played to an open point as they were changing back there. Steckline bringing it back, but she was met, taken away. Knutson now. She's all alone though, 1-on-3. Knutson carries it in deep. Knocked down, but play will go on. Schwarzentruber leading the rush for Hopkins Park. Nice poke check there, and that'll be a penalty on Schwarzentruber. Just hauled down Nagel after Nagel had knocked that puck free. So delayed penalty coming up against Hopkins. Erickson to the bench. Lindahl fanned on her pass, but keeps possession. Puts it out front, and puck still loose. They try and tuck it in, and now Hopkins Park gets control, and we'll get our penalty call assessed as we will get a hook. And it was, I think, kind of a frustration one on Schwarzentruber. She had it poke checked away and then threw in what seemed to be a pretty obvious hook.
Oh, she just got that stick up, and I think it got caught in the jersey too, and she couldn't get it away here. Oh no, she yanked pretty good right underneath the armpit.
Across to Lawrence. Lawrence dropping it back. Noble then gets it across, and then right back the other way. Ostapek, though, that one off the heel of her stick. Nice job to keep that one in by Noble. And she gets the return pass, goes around. Ooh. Noble going to the front, slides it across. Oh, and a nice play by Sauter. Got it with her pad, intercepting that pass. Noble. Ostapek shooting, and the scores! Might have been deflected, or it might be the hat trick. Either way, it's a goal for Wayzata. Ostapek seeing it apparently is hers all the way. It'll be her third of the night and second on a power play.
See, a nice play there. You know, she just gets a good opportunity there and just screenshot there, got through, got into the far side.
Yeah, Freed was camped right out front.
Yeah.
Won't get an assist probably but her screen definitely helped create that. I wasn't sure if it had possibly glanced off her leg or not, but it looks like it did not. Here's a chance the other way, and that one sails over the net from Hess. Noble and Moldy getting assists on that one. And apparently nobody wanted to spare their hat there. We didn't see any come out, although maybe they weren't certain whose goal that was. But Ostapek having a big night, and there's a save as it's now 5-1 Wayzata. Even before they scored that, they were doing some good things, though. They spread the puck out. They were really using Hopkins' aggressiveness against them, too.
I like the way the Trojans move the puck really good, Jay. Back and forth, up and down, side to side. They use the whole rink. They use every teammate on the line.
Yeah, I like the way they're playing the game. I mean, there's a few teams they've played that, you know, just probably have a little more speed and a little more skill overall, but they play the game the right way. They're generally in good position and doing good things and working hard out there.
Well, the other thing, too, I noticed in the goal differential between Ostapek and all the rest of the players in the game, she just finds the net. She can find the hole real quick.
Johnson on the rush here for Hopkins Park, putting it out front, deflected away by the goalie Erickson. Now it stays loose. And Trojans dump it out to center. Schwartzentruber banks it back in.
You know, that play right there kind of says a lot, too, about, you know, Hopkins Park. They're getting some opportunities. They just can't get that final one to go.
Play to the corner here. Freed trying to get that puck loose. Bank back around the other direction for Harmston. And it gets by Lindahl there at center. She'll have to come back to play it. Knocked away at the blue line. Noble recovering though for Wayzata. Fanned on her pass though, being bothered there quite a bit by Beach. Now Freed receiving the pass here for Wayzata up the left wing. Dropping it back, Lawrence. Looking out front and off the side of the net as she's tried to set up Kennedy. Freed looking to dig that one free. Lawrence in there working as well. Big time battle for it. It stayed alive though. Now Lawrence up with it out front. Swinging a miss by Kennedy, but it comes right to the point. Lindahl banking it off the wall, and then the Royals able to dump it on out. Penalty is over. Oh, I'm sorry, we obviously had the penalty over after the goal. My mistake. A little push by Kennedy to free that one up. Drop pass. Here's Moldy. Oh, and Sauter just got a piece of that. Moldy circling back. She's been all over the score sheet tonight. Scored their first goal and then has assisted on all the rest.
Yeah, she's just been a hustler. She has been all over the ice.
Ostapek had that one knocked away. Ostapek already has the hat trick. Long pass. That one missed everyone. I think it is going to be icing, yes.
Nobody quite got a stick on that one as it flew by, but Moldy's had a really good game. She's really been up and down, a real scooter. You see her battling back and forth, got a good opportunity there and kept right at it.
And Hopkins defensively there, you don't want to be kind of wandering around in front of your goalie. They really screened her unnecessarily there, it looked like on that one. Just happened to be caught trying to move from one side to the other, and we're right in your goalie's line of sight. Good defensive play to get back by Lavender to break that one up. Long shot there, banking off the end boards. Guys are able to hold off Ostapek, and then they battle, swat at each other a little bit. Ostapek in to grab this one. Firing the shot, it was blocked by Hess. Ostapek's playing with a little edge to her right now too. She went to the net real hard there. She's not worried about taking or giving a little body contact, that's for sure.
Goals come from the front of the net, and that's where she's going, and just try to stop me.
Knocked free by Kennedy. Steckline grabs that one. Wayzata would have been offside there. They had to tag up. Knocked loose down deep. Nagel. Kennedy playing a shift with Schneider and Lyon. They're kind of fourth liners, if you will. Getting opportunities here for the Trojans. Kothi shooting. It's knocked down in front, and the rebound swept wide. A follow-up try. Didn't make it to the net. Wayzata going to clear. Let's see if it'll have enough on it. Yes, it will be icing against the Trojans with 6:56 remaining in the third. A 5-1 Wayzata lead. They've got the only goal of the period as Ostapek getting her third of the night. at least right now, it's not looking like they're going to get the result they want. But I thought Hopkins Park, especially in that second period, came with. I mean, the shots for the game, Dan, are 27-22.
Yeah,
they have. They've done some good things tonight here for sure. They're probably not going to win this one, but I think it's been good for them to compete against a team like this too.
I think the difference has been Astapek and Moldy, but they've found the twine, and Hopkins Park hasn't. They've had the shots, but they just can't get it past Mel and Erickson. I
think the physical play and the speed of the game has been good for Wayzata, and I think that's going to help Hopkins Park to be seeing this team because of that.
Yeah.
You play through some body and some stick a little bit more than maybe against some teams. And everybody coming together at the line here. Schwartzentruber leading the rush. Oh, they're offside though. Casey Hellstrom on the right side, just ahead of the play.
She did have her leg on the other side of the line, but she had lifted it up, so that put her across the line. That's why she was kind of looking at like, me, really?
That little footwork at the line matters an awful lot, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Royals able to win the draw. Schenkelberg had it knocked away, though. Freed shooting. Knocked down in front, and it was just a little too far for Sauter to reach out and cover it. Played ahead now to Schenkelberg, jabbed away from her. And then knocked down as they tried to get the breakout going up the wall, but now a second opportunity for Wayzata. Nice move by Kennedy into the circle, and a blocker saved by Helen Sauter. Schenkelberg picks it up for the Royals. Floating it toward Beach. I don't think she got a piece of that though. And it will be icing against Hopkins Park. We said these teams have some more games coming up. As a home and home for Hopkins Park. They go to Buffalo Saturday and then host Buffalo on Tuesday before concluding against St. Paul Two Rivers. And meanwhile for Wayzata, they go to the Champlain Ice Forum to take on Champlain Park Coon Rapids. Then 3 home games, Minnetonka, Buffalo, and Breck. So not an easy final games of the season for the Trojans after this one either. Breck's got a pretty good team there, one of the better ones in Class A, and Champlain Park Coon Rapids having a pretty good season. That won't be easy, and obviously Minnetonka's Minnetonka. Out front, here's a shot and just wide by Schwartzentruber. Moldy trying to get that one out. Royals keeping it in. They have not given up, that's for sure. They're coming hard here, even down by 4. Kothi taking a long shot, and she scores! Well, that one was one Erickson would like to have back. It tried to glove it, and it got over her glove and just under the crossbar.
Well, I think that was another one where she's trying to reach across when she just should have got her shoulder up and made the save. Oh, no, she just fumbled it right above her head.
Maybe down a little bit too early there, too.
Yeah.
Great shot. I don't take anything away from that, but absolutely. I think Erickson probably would feel she should have saved that one.
Well, from the distance far out, it was. Yeah, she probably would feel that way. But good shot, right on the money.
Here's a partial breakaway chance now for Wayzata. Walking in. Ooh, a nice stop as Hansen was in alone. So 5-2. I like Hopkins. They made us look good, but we were just saying how they were still trying hard and coming in, and then they immediately get a goal. Here's Schenkelberg. That one knocked down as she tried to pass it across.
Well, it just reinforces effort, too. You keep playing hard, good things are going to happen, and they did that time. And, they have not looked dominated at all. They just have not been able to find the back of the net.
And I think it's a good thing for Wayzata, too, to have to play through this whole third period and not walk away and make it 7-1 or whatever. I think it's actually better for them in the long run to have to try to play with a lead and try to, figure out how to finish a game, too.
Well, and let's not forget, too, this is going to have an idea on section seating, too. And, This score looks a little bit better than it did a few minutes ago.
Yeah, probably looking at the 3 and 4 seed. Wayzata should, I can't imagine any way they wouldn't be the 3 seed.
Agreed.
And Hopkins Park, I think, probably would be ahead of Jefferson for the 4 spot. But again, that remains to be seen.
I think that would reinforce it. This game would reinforce it.
Under 3 minutes to play now. Freed sending it ahead, but Steckline knocked that down. Here comes Johnson for Hopkins Park. Forced out wide by Lindahl, and Lindahl gets the puck as well. Pass attempt blocked and carried in. Here's a chance for Lawrence walking in, and that one just goes wide. And a battle for it at the line. They get it out. Nice play by Streeter. Bouncing that pass ahead. Johnson turning to receive it for the Royals. Kothe, who scored that last goal, sneaking one under the crossbar. Under 2 minutes to play as Wayzata on the rush. Nice pass over to Moldy. Has Noble with her and try to get it back to her, but if Noble had been a lefty shot instead of right, that would have worked out much better, but as it was, she had to reach for it as kind of into her skate.
Yeah, great point, Jay, great point.
Kennedy trying to go right up the middle. Moldy blocking that pass. Kennedy. And then knocked away again as they've done a good job. Knutson helping to bottle them up. Push to the front. Moldy directing it toward the net, but then Schwarzengruber took it. Moldy trying to take it right back and almost did. Here's Noble with a poke check. Ooh, Noble going to take a penalty there. That was not a very disciplined play. Considering score and time and all that. Just gave an extra shot after the fact, kind of a frustration. Roughing. Watch her follow through right here, unnecessary. I don't know.
No, you're right, absolutely unnecessary. She had her blocked off, she had her stopped. She didn't need to take that extra lunge with her stick.
And those are the kind of things that the coaches will talk about. I agree. If we get in a section game and it's a close game, you don't want to do that.
Absolutely. That will be discussed at practice this week.
Geyser shooting. Erickson the save. And flip back out. It's always fun. Well, maybe fun's not the right word, but to pick on officials. But I'm going to say a nicely called game tonight, I feel like. Most everything I've agreed with what they've called.
Mm-hmm.
They've let them play, but when there's been an infraction, they've been willing to call it too.
Yeah, they've kept the game under control really well.
Out front, and Johnson, and somebody blocked that one away. And we'll get a face-off coming up in the Wayzata zone. Geyser was knocked down in front, and that might be an example where Wayzata, if we were 5-on-5, that might have been a penalty, but since they're already down a player, you get a little more leeway. Royals win the draw. Johnson putting it out. Geyser trying to get control and shoot it. Schenkelberg now will back up. She fires, and that one hit a stick out front. 10 seconds to go in the game. Hopkins still firing, trying to get one more, but they are going to lose this one as Freed knocks it to the corner, and that's going to do it. 5-2, Wayzata with the victory as Ostapek getting the hat trick. Moldy a 5-point night. And good entertaining hockey game. I mean, I think both teams have some things to be happy about here, though, Dan.
Well, I agree. I don't think that score indicates how this game was played. I love the hustle and grit of Hopkins Park. I thought they never quit. They kept digging. They kept working hard. And they made Wayzata work for everything they got, and they made them play the full rink the whole game. Wayzata kept their cool, worked all their lines. I thought they work together as a team very well moving the puck. I like that a lot on both of these teams.
So best of luck to both teams as they wrap up the regular season and then head into Section 6AA play. And we hope you've enjoyed tonight's game here on CCX Sports. We certainly have. Wayzata winning it over Hopkins Park 5-2. For Dan Ficken and the rest of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Plymouth Ice Center.